Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Palestinians who voted for Donald Trump and delving into some of their reasons and some of the outcome. Let's take a look. Without further ado, let's get into it.
If you don't want to vote for Jill, vote for Donald Trump. But do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my community.
I want to make one thing very clear. We are going to do everything in our power to make sure Kamala Harris doesn't win. Vote for, if you want Donald Trump to win, say that. I will vote for Satan if I have to. I don't care who we got to deal with for the next 4 years, as long as you motherfuckers know that you f***ed up and you guys are going to deal with some type of repercussion for what happened for the last 10 months. I don't care who we vote for. I'm voting for independent candidate, either Justine or Cornel West. I know they're not going to win, but at least we'll take progress to hopefully one day having more than 2 parties and 2 candidates where we have a system with actual options. Until then, cope. We're going to make sure, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that does not win and the Democrat Party loses the election. F*** you guys.
You heard that, right? They gave their reasons. They know why they did what they did. And I hope for them, for their sake, that they selected well. I don't think so. I personally recall Donald Trump telling Netanyahu to do whatever he wanted to with them, but maybe my memory is off. But I don't know. Again, this is not my business, not my fight, but I am bringing you information. Let's get into some of these stitches, though.
As Palestinian Americans, I know some of us have mixed feelings after this election, but one thing we should be extremely proud of ourselves about is that we came together. We achieved unity, and we forced the Republicans and the Democrats to speak to our liking. Hell, we gave the Green Party life. We changed the political climate not only in America, but in Israel. They don't even support Netanyahu. We changed the political climate all over the globe. We canceled billion-dollar corporations, and we did that because we achieved unity, power through unity. And it's our job to keep that momentum up. So take your feelings aside, keep that stride, keep that pride going. Victory is soon ahead, and we won't stop until Palestine and all oppressed peoples are free.
Who is Elise Stefanik, Donald Trump's pick to be ambassador to the UN? She's a New York State representative. She doesn't have a ton of foreign policy experience or diplomacy experience, but she is a really big supporter of Donald Trump, and right now it seems that loyalty above all else is the key attribute that he wants in those around him. She is also somebody who's been critical of the UN, critical of UNRWA, also a very big supporter of Israel. You might remember her during those House hearings where she grilled the Ivy League college presidents about the protests on their campuses.
Crushing anti-Semitism at home and supplying the state of Israel with what it needs, when it needs it, without conditions to achieve total victory in the face of evil. Total victory starts, but only starts, with wiping those responsible for October 7th off the face of the earth.
Do you know anyone who's voting Harris?
No. I don't know anyone voting for Trump either. I feel like I'm a Palestinian first and an American. That's what I learned from this, to be honest. I will be voting Green Party. I'll be voting for Jill Stein. I'd rather my vote, even whatever people says that these votes will be considered for a different party, because considering we're a swing state, I genuinely do not care. I care that my vote is a morally conscious vote, and it will be going for Jill Stein. And I'm done catering to a 2-party system. I think the US is secondary to Israel. I do blame the Democratic Party. I do blame that these people in administration, like my parents voted for Biden. A lot of Arab and Dearborn voted for Biden, and what did we get? We get promised this and that, and we got a genocide. We got this continuous support of mass murder of children, women, elder. The people who voted for you, like, these people are directly impacted, and they genuinely do not care. And when they play this game where they send people to Michigan to tell us, hey, like, if you vote for us, we're gonna continue doing that. Like, I'm not playing this game anymore. My vote does not matter. People like me and people like who look like me, dress like me, act like me, I genuinely believe the United States of America does not care about what my people think. I feel like change shouldn't be just done through elections. Like as an American, my power isn't just to vote. My power is in my freedom of speech, my freedom of assembly.
Now that we're stuck with Trump presidency 2.0, let's talk about his foreign policy. One of Trump's campaign promises was to end the war in Gaza, and that subsequently won him predominantly Muslim areas in the key swing state of Michigan, like Dearborn and Dearborn Heights, which not only flipped blue to green, but then flipped green to red. Pause to read some of the statistics for the city. Now, what can we actually expect for the Middle East under Trump? In the immediate aftermath, we can expect Trump to recognize Israeli sovereignty over the West Bank. And we know this because his campaign was bankrolled by an Israeli lobbyist named Miriam Adelson. Adelson has pumped hundreds of millions of dollars into AIPAC, illegal settlements, and Israeli birthright movements. Both she and Trump are listed on Netanyahu's list of campaign funders. And one of her demands of Trump in funding his campaign was the recognition of Israeli sovereignty over the West Bank. And we know he'll do it. How do we know that? Because of the precedent he set in recognizing Israel's illegal annexation of the Syrian Golan Heights. Mind you, he was the first and only world leader to legitimize this illegal occupation. Many of his previous policies regarding Palestine actually were written by Israelis. And he's been called the most easily manipulated president that Israel has enjoyed. Ben-Gvir heralded Trump's victory as the time for sovereignty and complete victory. And Netanyahu has once described Trump as the best friend that Israel has ever had in the White House. Largely because of his bid to move the U.S. Embassy in Israel and subsequently the Israeli capital to Jerusalem, which was contested land, and sparked mass protests and roars of another intifada from Hamas at the time. Additionally, he has a history as a hardliner against Iran, and during his previous tenure, the U.S. unilaterally withdrew from the 2015 agreement with Iran to scale back its nuclear programs in exchange for lifting international sanctions. He continued to worsen U.S. relations with Iran and cause massive turmoil in the region when he authorized a drone strike that killed the Iranian general Qasem Soleimani in 2020. This prompted a warrant for his arrest in an Iraqi court, though Iraq has announced today that they will not enforce this during his presidency, simply to maintain diplomatic relations. Now, none of this bodes well for resistance efforts in Gaza and Lebanon. And voices in the besieged areas say that a Trump presidency will likely result in their permanent displacement to places like the Sinai Desert in Egypt, or worse, total annihilation. Something that Israel actually preemptively already announced, as just yesterday they announced that North Gaza had been fully ethnically cleansed. No doubt because of Netanyahu's conversation with Trump where he allegedly said he wants the war over by the time he enters office, basically giving him the green light to speed up mass murder. Genocide has not ended with this election cycle, and by the looks of it, the worst may still be yet to come.
I came home the day I met Trump, and I gave my son a MAGA hat, and I said, I guess we're there. And he said, ew. His first words to me were, ew. I said, but Baba, he said he's gonna stop the war. And he said, okay, that's it. Give me that hat. We're voting for Trump. And that's the sentiment, not just of an 8-year-old, but of an entire community. If you're gonna stop the war, even if I don't like you, I'm on your team.
Has anybody ever took the time out to actually look at Donald Trump's website? Because this is concerning. What made me stumble across this is because I saw this video where she's saying that she talked to Donald Trump and he said that he's going to end the war, and how that is what converted her to be a Trump supporter. First off, language is really important. So I wanted to see did Donald Trump say that he's going to have a ceasefire. No, every single time he is asked about the war in Gaza, he says that he's going to bring an end to it. An end to it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to stop the war in a way that you are happy with. An end to it to him might be, I'm going to level Gaza out completely. There will be no more war because there will be no more Gaza. That's why he's purposely not saying a ceasefire, because he's not going to tell them to stop. Then you start thinking about how American Palestinian people are mad at the black community for going to Starbucks, right? And I first thought we were going to Starbucks because the war was over. You voted his friend into office. There's no way y'all thought that Gaza is not going to be leveled now. And when I realized that y'all still had a fighting chance, I was actually sad, because it's like, sweetie, y'all should have picked up a history book before November 5th and realized that it's done. I'm not trying to be mean, but Biden is not going to do anything because Israel has no motive to negotiate with it when they know that their bestie is about to be in office in January. I thought we collectively realized that the war is over, but y'all still want to fight, which brings me back to that first part. He is trying to deport American citizens for being pro-Palestine. If y'all got the Palestine flag in y'all bio, y'all need to take that out, because he is deporting anybody that is pro-Hamas, and he equates anybody who is for Palestine to be pro-Hamas and a radical. No matter your immigration status, you could be, look at that pimple, you could be born here. When black people, particularly black women, say it's no longer our fight, we see a lot of American Palestinians get upset. But I hate to break it to you, Slim, that's no longer your fight either. You have now welcomed another fight on this land. And if you are Palestinian in America and he wants to deport you, where is he going to deport you to? A war zone? Y'all gotta protect yourselves here. I know people saying this is not our lesson to learn, but y'all about to learn quickly.
ترامب او غير ترامب او يعني الحزب الجمهوري او الديمقراطي سياستهم واحده، كلها طبعا لصالح اسرائيل.
الانتخابات هذه لا بتاثر في فلسطين، بل بالعكس بتزيد على معاناه الشعب الفلسطيني وبتزيد على حجم الحصار، بل بالعكس بتزيد كمان اللي هو مساعده الاسرائيليين، واللي زي ما ترامب احنا عارفينه يعني انسان هوجائي متعصب متطرف، فحيأثر سلبا على الشعب الفلسطيني.
أنا شايف فيش فرق بين ترامب أو بايدن أو هاريس أو أي واحد شخص أمريكي، لأنه قبل هيك ترامب أعطى القدس لإسرائيل، أعطى عاصمة واحدة وما فيش فرق، بالعكس أعطى إسرائيل حق هم ما بيستحقوش.
بتأمل من الله أنه يكون هو رجل سلام يحلنا وبكفي دماء. يعني أنت شايف كيف الشوارع كيف صارت، فيش ولا بيت إلا صار فيه شهيد، فيه جريح، فيه مصيبة.
Goodbye.
But when will I see you again?
Oh, never, never.
Never?
Well, maybe someday.
When? Tomorrow?
Oh, no.
Do Palestinians in the occupied West Bank think about Donald Trump being re-elected as U.S. president?
مجنون كريزي، واقسم بالله مجنون، كلهم زي بعض ما بيتغيروا.
جربناه فيما قبل، سوى سفارة في القدس، سفارة إسرائيلية في القدس، اليوم بيهدد بتوسعة المساحة الإسرائيلية.
والله يعني مش راح يفيدنا كثير بالنسبة للي قبله، وراح يفيد إسرائيل أزود. ومثل ما بقول المثل يعني بروح كلب يجي من 66 كلب يعني.
بصراحة شوي disappointed، لأنه في المرتين اللي فاز فيهم فاز ضد مرة، فإنه people are willing to see Trump again بدل ما يشوفوا مرة.
كلهم نفس الإشي، ولا واحد أحسن من الثاني، كلهم بيخزوا.
يعني أنا برأيي فاز ترامب ولا فازت هي في الآخر، ولا بيأثروا علينا، الاثنين نفس الإشي.
هدفهم واحد. يعني بالنهاية احنا مش راح تفرق علينا، احنا أهل فلسطين.
ترامب
ما في أي ثقة لا في أمريكا ولا في النظام الأمريكي.
A new catastrophe added to our life.
لا يصلح للرئاسة.
You have been the greatest
friend that Israel has ever had in the White House.
Pro-Palestine activists march towards the Capitol.
Okay, guys, that's all I put together for you, but I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Like this particular woman that I'm showing said, yeah, the war may end, but it might be because Palestine doesn't exist anymore. That's still an ending, right? I mean, even if you lose, it's still over. The war is still over. And when you look at what the people actually living through this say, they know Trump is crazy. They know Trump is Netanyahu's best friend. So they know this doesn't bode well for them. So why would you then encourage people here that could give change, could actually be an instrument for positive change in Palestine? I don't get it. I don't get it, but maybe you all do. Maybe you can give me some clarity because y'all, again, but I'm back at, this is not my fight, but that doesn't mean I'm not curious and that I don't want to know. So if some Palestinian could get in the comments and let us know how that made sense to vote against your own best interest. If you think that Donald Trump is going to have more empathy for Palestinians than Kamala Harris, I think you're sorely mistaken. But those are my thoughts. You guys get in those comments. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until the next time, toodles.